What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Anthony with VR365. What is going on? It is January 2nd. It is 2019. It is 11 a.m. and nobody is in chat. Oh, T-Dub is in chat. Wow, hear that airplane? Airplane just flying overhead there. I thought it was Job. I thought Job just started to fire up his blower or whatever like that, right? Okay, so today is Wednesday, y'all, and Wednesday means lawn care. And I know, we're in the month of January. You would think, why would my lawnmower guy keep coming when we're in the month of January? But I have a tree in the backyard that has like these like berry things that fall down on the ground, and there's a million of these things everywhere. And so he probably feels like he has to clean that up. So far, no Job. Okay, so far, no Job. And when Job comes, bam, I take him out. No, this is because I finally played Farpoint, guys. I finally played Farpoint. Bam. And you know what? Late to the party like a mofo. We are talking about 595 days of Farpoint availability, and I finally played that goddamn game. Yes, I did. But anyway, let's hold on a second here. Let's see. What are we looking at? Okay, so like I said, today's Wednesday. It's January 2nd. It is 11:01 a.m. This is episode 57 of the show. And we are in a very slow time right now. That is the way it is. There's not a lot of news that's going on. There's not a lot of announcements that are going on. However, one thing that I did do, and I like to do this on a regular basis if possible. Okay, DLG27 says, did I finish it? Are you freaking crazy? I just started the game. You know me. I don't know if, is there anything I've ever finished in the first day or like the first time I fired it up? There's probably something. There's got to be something that maybe only lasted like a half an hour. Maybe like the Budget Cuts demo. Like the Budget Cuts demo back in April of 2016. Maybe I actually finished that the first day. It was about 21 minutes. But no way. I haven't even seen the first major boss of Farpoint. We talk about scratching the surface. Yes, scratching the surface, man. I'm just scratching the surface, man. That's all I do here. But no, yeah, I did actually finally try Farpoint, so that is good news. But you know what? One of the things, let me put this thing down here. One of the things that I do not every day, but I like to do this quite often, is if there's nothing to talk about, I will go to YouTube, okay? And in the YouTube search, I will put VR space trailer. And then what I'll do is I'll filter that and I'll search for today or I'll search for this week, and I will find VR trailers that maybe I didn't know anything about. And I've got like 4 or 5 of these things, okay? So when we don't have a show to work with, it's a great thing to have some trailers to go to. And you know what? Let's go ahead and start it off. Let's see here. I know I've got a trailer that I wanted to pop off. There's a game that just came out today. Ladies and gentlebots, it just came out today. It is called Battle Mage VR. Battle Mage VR from Primeval Software. I don't know diddly about this game, but you know what I did do is I grabbed a trailer. I grabbed the trailer right off of Steam, and normally when you grab a trailer off Steam, normally it is incredibly low quality video, but this is telling me it's 1080p. So I feel pretty good about it. So why don't we go ahead and check out this trailer. It is called Battle Mage VR. And when we get done with it, we can go check out the Steam page. This is available today, man. This is the hotness. Like, this is the first hottest game of 2019. Yeah, buddy. Let's go ahead and throw this puppy on the screen. Wow. Wow. Look at those leather pants. Look at those leather pants. Haven't you ever wanted to wear incredibly tight leather pants and have a sunrise like that? Of course you have. You've always wanted to be a battle mage. This has been your dream ever since you were the youngest of childs. You wanted to be a battle mage. And now that we have VR, you can experience Battle Mage VR. Yeah, I don't know anything about this game. I know nada about this game. I just know that it is available today. It is a brand new release on Steam. And sometimes I think it's kind of fun to see what little games come out of nowhere and what are we looking at here. So this is Battle Mage VR. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our webby browser window. This is it. Oops, let me see. Made a mistake here. Okay, yeah, here is Battle Mage VR. Let me go ahead and move my browser thing up like this. Battle Mage VR. Dive into one of the most vibrant environments in VR to date. I mean, yeah, it is so vibrant. Like, it's filled with all kinds of things. There's bushes and flowers and everywhere. It's not like an empty-ass field with a couple of rocks and a couple of little minor plots of grass. It is one of the most vibrant environments you've ever seen. Play as one of the last surviving battle mages using unique melee and magic weapons to slay monsters and retrieve the magic crystals. Collect coin and experience from your kills to become the most powerful battle mage to have ever existed. The developer of this game is Primeval Software. It released today on January 2nd, 2019. And you can grab this game. Okay, its normal price is $15, but you can grab it for a bit over $10. It is 30% off. This is Battle Mage VR, easily one of the biggest games we're ever going to see in the year 2019. Not. But you know what? It actually looks halfway decent. I've seen worse. I've definitely seen worse. This is Battle Mage VR. That almost looks like they're underwater there, but probably not. But yeah, I mean, you got giant mushrooms. I mean, who the hell? These rock monsters are actually kind of cool. Like, that's actually kind of cool. You can level up. You know, look, you can fight the mushrooms. That mushroom is level 38, and you're doing major damage to a level 38 mushroom. Look at that sunset right there. That actually reminds me very slightly of Runes VR. Remember, I always talked how it looked like Shadow of the Empire? Kind of reminds me a tiny bit of that little sunlight right there. That dragon looks pretty cool. And look at the most vibrant environment everywhere. It's not like it's on just a blank field somewhere with a mountain in the background. That is a vibrant environment with a really killer dragon. That is Battle Mage VR. Battle Mage VR. Yeah, it is brand new and it is available today. Do I know anything about it? Not really, except for those tight leather pants. Tight leather pants, and she's really working very hard on those abs. So you gotta love that. It does say HTC Vive. There's no mention of Oculus Rift here, so maybe I dodged a bullet. I'm just kidding. But that is Battle Mage VR, and when it's slow, and it is slow, to be sure, not a lot of news is popping off. We can go ahead and take a look at some of these really small kind of games that trickle out. And then there's also like experiences and other things. I have some interesting trailers that we can go to here. Let me see, what is the next trailer that I have for you guys here? Hold on a second. Let me take a look here. Okay, well, here's something I don't know too much about. It is called Eclipse VR, and this is by Eclipse VR. And I think this is like a location-based entertainment thing. You know how we have The Void? We have, like, IMAX had its VR centers before they shut them all down. But we have a handful of location-based VR setups where you go there, you pay like $35, you get suited up, and you're in an experience. And I think that's what this is, this Eclipse VR. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's take a look at this trailer here. Yeah, Kev Gret says, Anthony will play this 725 days from now. No, I played Farpoint 595 days late. Yeah, I wanted it to ripen on the vine, and it got very ripe and very juicy. And I'll be talking about Farpoint a little bit later, but let's go ahead and check out this Eclipse VR. I believe this is a location-based entertainment type of deal. Let's check this out, see what it looks like, and we'll be right back. Okay, yeah, that is Eclipse VR. That is by Elucity. And yeah, I don't know that this is in Chinese. I think it's actually French. I think this is actually French. And I don't really know much about this. Like, I don't know, is this a game that is coming to the Oculus Rift? Is it coming to the HTC Vive? It does say an experience, immersive, you know, something, something, something. Everybody's using the Vives. Everybody's got tats. You know, they've got their tats, bruh. You even see Grandma. Even Grandma suits up. Right, we're going to see a clip of Grandma. This all looks like Farpoint, too. Everything's out in space. This is Farpoint Day. January 2nd, Farpoint Day. But yeah, I mean, they're suited up. They're ready to go. You know, checking in, checking in. We'll get a shot of Grandma here in a minute. There's Grandma. There's Grandma. She is reaching up for the skies. There's Gramps. He's pulling open something. Now, here's the thing, though. Like, if you're going to have a motion, like, if you're going to have a location-based VR experience, wouldn't it be nice if you, like, take those huge, giant Vive wands that just suck? I mean, those Vive wands just suck so bad. So just throw them away, right? Forget the Vive wands. Let's use our actual hands. Like, what a novel concept. Let's use our actual hands. Let's throw a little leap motion on top of that Vive there. And then when that guy's pulling that thing out, or when Grandma's pulling that lever up, like, actually have a physical lever. Actually pull on it. Actually pull it out. And guess what, folks? I believe I hear Job. Job has arrived. Perfect timing for Job. I got about 10 minutes of the show in before Job has arrived. Unfortunately, I believe noise pollution is coming very soon. Okay, but yeah, I believe this is a location-based experience, but don't quote me on that. What we can do, though, is, let's see here. Where is this? Okay, let me go over here to our Webby browser window. And so this is a web page right here where it's kind of talking about Eclipse VR. So here it is, Eclipse. Since approaching the unexplored planet Carthage 5, the Eclipse 1 ship has lost all communication with Earth. What happened to its crew? It's up to you to solve this mystery by boarding the Eclipse 2 ship with your team. And you enter the galaxy, direction Carthage 5. Before you experience a rise in adventure in this virtual galaxy, gather your space squad and establish a common strategy. Be alert and attentive, as you will have to... It's basically kind of an escape the room type of thing, basically, but in VR, and you're basically in space and stuff like that. The mysterious Carthage 5. How to act in the face of an unknown. A few tips to succeed in your mission. Trust each other. Stick together. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, what if I wear prescription glasses? VR headsets are not suitable for all sizes of glasses. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you go somewhere. So this is in Paris. Yeah, this is in Paris, and it is multiplayer. It says 15 minutes. I don't know how much they charge for this, but that is Eclipse VR. I just thought the trailer was kind of cool. I had never personally seen this before, but I thought it was kind of cool. So anyway, that is one of the trailers that we're looking at, and I'm bouncing over here to chat. Fluke says, Leap motion would be good if it was 100% accurate 100% of the time. Was always a little bit too flaky when I played around with it, though maybe it's better these days. And you know what? I thought I heard Job, but maybe I didn't, because now I don't hear any noise. So maybe I dodged a bullet. Maybe Job is not here. So maybe we did dodge a bullet there. As far as Leap motion is concerned, I would imagine that like it is continuing to improve. They're continuing to release new firmware for it. And you would think, I mean, location-based entertainment, one of the things that I've always talked about when it comes to this idea of location-based entertainment, let's go ahead and switch back to our regular scene over here, is I feel like your hands touching things, touching buttons, holding on to a railing, maybe having the railing vibrate, and it's vibrating in the game as well. Think about how important our sense of touch and feel. Touch and feel is so important. Touching buttons, grabbing levers, twisting dials, you know, doing things physically with your hand. I don't want a controller in my hand. If I'm going to a location-based entertainment center and having a real deal VR adventure with like 4 other dudes, like give me buttons and levers and knobs and things to push and have it integrated into the game. I just think it would be so much more immersive. I think when you're touching buttons and you're touching levers, especially if it starts rumbling and shaking, maybe having you on a ground that kind of rumbles and shakes at very specific points in the experience, a giant fan that comes on at a very specific time and it blasts you with cold air. You know, these are the kinds of things that we need to do to make VR more immersive in a location-based VR experience, which is exactly what this kind of looks like. Okay, I have some other trailers. Let's go to the next one here. Excuse me. So the next trailer I have, this is something called Fire Escape. And this is an interactive VR series. Now, this is available on Daydream, and very few of us have a Daydream. I don't have a Daydream. We might have 1 or 2 people in chat that have a Daydream occasionally or something, or maybe they've tried a Daydream. But I still like to take a look at some of these things because a lot of times they will make their way over to the Oculus Go. They might make their way over to an Oculus Quest, Gear VR, etc. So typically things will end up maybe on the Daydream, but maybe they'll come over. That was a situation with Eclipse Edge of Light. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. It's kind of interesting. Fire Escape, an interactive VR series. Let's check this out real quick.
Hey you, it's me. What took you so long?
Brooklyn is in the center of a renaissance, and Crown Heights is finally reaping the benefits.
You've been a bad, bad girl.
Please take away the pain and anguish. Protect my home and restore my marriage.
You need to get this crap out of here. Yes, I'll get right on it.
Let's just say he's a ruthless, nasty boy.
For the rest of your life, you'll be in pain. Endless suffering. Pain.
Tell me, does he have a update?
We need backup. We got a homicide.
I need your help. I'm so scared.
Okay, that is Fire Escape, a VR series. That looks pretty cool. That looks actually, this looks really cool. It was in the Tribeca Film Festival, and I like this idea. I like this concept. Now, maybe this isn't actually like safe for work. It looks kind of, excuse me, it looks like there's some kind of risque things that are going on here. It's a little bit of voyeurism in VR, Now, what was that movie? There was a movie many, many years ago. It was some kind of movie that took place in like a hotel or like a big apartment, like a huge giant apartment tower. And like the people that were in charge of this hotel, they had, or these apartment buildings or whatever, they had cameras in every freaking room, like hidden cameras everywhere. And so this guy, I forget what the name of the movie was or whatever this movie was, but this guy that was like the CEO or whatever, the guy that owned this hotel or this apartment complex, he was basically looking in on everybody's little lives and everything that people were doing in their different apartments. It was a movie. Sliver? Was a movie called Sliver? Okay, I'm actually going to look it up. Let me look up this movie called Sliver because, yeah, there was a movie, something like that. Hold on one second. Sliver movie, Sharon Stone. Okay, Sliver, Sharon Stone. Let me look this up. Sliver, okay, a 1993 erotic thriller film. Okay, let's look for some images of this. Yeah, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pop this on our Webby browser. So yeah, these are some images here. I was just going to try to see if, yeah, I remember it was William Baldwin. Yeah, William Baldwin was this guy. He was like a super rich dude, I believe. And see, here it is. Like, see all these screens there? Like, he's watching every screen, watching all these things that people are doing. A little bit not safe for work with this movie as well, or this thing. But, like, this picture right here. See, like, he could look in on everybody's little apartment, and which was totally, totally wrong, right? I mean, but it was an interesting idea in a movie. And so Fire Escape, this is this thing called Fire Escape. Fire Escape, an interactive VR series. I got to imagine that movie was somewhat influential in this idea because you're looking into all these different people's lives. You got like a cop that is doing some weird stuff. You know, you got some different women. You know, you got some different, and it's very adult. This is not for your kids. This is kind of VR paradise land over here. But it's interesting. I thought this looks really cool. Like, I'm actually a little bit jealous. You know, this is a Google Daydream thing. They do have a partnership, so it's only available on Daydream. So we're kind of stuck like Chuck. Does anybody out there have a Daydream? How much is this? Are you going to try it? It looks pretty sweet. I'm legitimately jealous of this. I think, like, look at this. It looks pretty cool. I kind of like the idea. It also reminds me, like, the phone and everything. You know, you're looking at your phone and stuff. That kind of reminds me of, what was that movie, Unfriended or whatever? There's been some interesting movies where it's like all done online. I believe there's a movie called Unfriended, something like that, you know, where you're on the phone, you're on the computer. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit. At one part here, you're like looking at your phone, you're analyzing things. But yeah, like right there you go. That kind of, just that little part right there reminds me of Unfriended a little bit. Fire Escape, Unleash Your Inner Voyeur. And that is by Ink Stories or In Ink Stories or something like that. Yeah, Ink Stories, and Ink Stories original series. This is their website right here. But yeah, I believe when the clock strikes 8 in Brooklyn, a suspenseful drama begins to unfold in real time, where you can interact and peer into the private lives of 8 disenfranchised tenants entangled in a murder. Okay, it's a murder mystery. Audiences must embrace their voyeuristic tendencies in this rich and unique interactive series to reveal a gripping truth. So it might be a little bit almost like Night Trap. Like way back on the Sega CD, you're bouncing from room to room to room, and you're doing it in real time. And this is kind of like a murder mystery. So I don't know. I think this looks super cool. Now, maybe ultimately it isn't that great, but I do believe that looks pretty sweet. So that is Fire Escape. Okay, yeah, okay, so let's go Searching with John Cho. All takes place on a computer. Yeah, there's some pretty cool movies that have been coming out over the last few years, taking it more to this internet age, like where they're doing movies in different styles. But yeah, I don't know, it does look does look like a fascinating narrative here, and very adult. And we don't get a lot of like truly adult material. Not adult in terms of prawn, but just more of like an R-rated kind of a thing. Like, unless it's like just horror or just pure sex, but I'm talking about more of an like not necessarily horror or pure sex, but just more adult kind of scenarios like that. The phone there kind of reminds me of Unfriended a little bit. That is Fire Escape. All right, I have another trailer I think I can grab here as we continue through the Shiitake Mushroom show. And so this next thing is called Rhythm of the Universe, and this is being brought to us by Row2 Entertainment. It's kind of a little bit Lion King-esque. I don't really know what's going on here. I don't really know what you're doing, but it's supposed to be a VR game, I believe, for Oculus Rift and HTC Vive. Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer here. Let's see what this is all about. It is called Rhythm of the Universe. Let's go ahead and check this one out.
Yo! Yamama, yungo. Yamama, why? Whoa, mamo, yo, mamo, mami. No, me night. Imanke, I manye, mao. Take back more, reader, yeah, I know. Take back my
I remember my mother's chants. She would sing of a time when people would march and dance in unity. She sang many songs, my mother. And every song had a beginning and an end, just like our lives.
Okay, that is Rhythm of the Universe. Starts out kind of slow here with this trailer. Takes a little while to actually get to what is going on here. But you want to talk about an alien world realized. You know me, man. I love this type of stuff. I want to go to alien worlds. I want to see some unique kind of stuff. I want some originality. And this looks like originality. This definitely looks like an alien world, kind of an Avatar-ish kind of a world. You got all this desert imagery here, kind of a lost civilization that is happening here. And then eventually you get into this really vibrant forest that they show off, which looks pretty cool. You got some strange alien creatures, and it looks like a magical adventure all around. I'm just going to wait till we get into the jungle here. Row2 Entertainment, Rhythm of the Universe, ROTU. So it all works together, right? Row2 Entertainment and Rhythm of the Universe is the name of this game. Let's see here. This is where we're about to get into the jungle scene right about here. We're getting some brief glimpses of what the in-game engine, like I got to imagine this is part of the in-game engine, so you kind of have like native tribes that are there, kind of a little bit Avatar, a little bit of Avatar there. You also get to see, like, at one point here, somebody's, like, running. Like, look at that. Some little dude is running across a giant bridge. That would be pretty cool to experience. Charles Van Nolan says, oh, Apocalypse. You know, it's kind of Apocalypto a little bit. A little bit Lion King, a little bit Apocalypto, a little bit Avatar. So a lot of different stuff is kind of blended in together. Those graphics look really good. Those graphics look really good right there. How is this actually going to look in VR when we actually get our hands on it? That, of course, is a question. But yeah, this does look like a high quality deal right here. Paradise Decay says, is this Primordian 2? And Fluke says, I hadn't even heard of that one. John Bardo says, it's definitely a wavy-ass wave shooter. And Catherine Chanson says, I want VR games to make me feel a story atmosphere. Yeah, you want to feel it. I love it when there's games that tell the story through the environment. Environmental storytelling. BioShock pretty much started that all off. Like Ken Levine. I mean, you could go all the way back to Half-Life, of course, but I think BioShock kind of took it to that next level of telling a story environmentally. And this looks like it might do that as well. Okay, I'm going to switch over here to our Webby browser window. There is a little... there is a website page. Here it is. This is Row 2, Rhythm of the Universe. Not much is going on here on this web page, though. They just kind of have their trailer playing. It says subscribe. You can join their mailing list to find out more. Rhythm of the Universe, the designers, the composers and engineers of virtual reality content that transforms the future of entertainment, use the power of music to explore uncharted realms and expand your understanding of humanity. We take you beyond the game into a truly life-changing experience. About us, why VR press. Let's see. Extended reality has a big future in entertainment and gaming. High-quality content like Rhythm of the Universe is key to its success. The story is based around today's problems, which tackle these issues through music and storytelling. That is Jason Parks, the CEO of Row 2 Entertainment. So it sounds like music is going to be a really big part of this. Rhythm of the Universe. So music seems to be a big part of this, but some type of story, and definitely an interesting alien kind of world here. Now, unfortunately, we have no idea when this is coming. So this could be a 2019 release, maybe later this year, but we didn't get any kind of a clue to that. But that is Rhythm of the Universe. I do believe that that looks pretty sweet. So we will definitely go ahead and keep our eyes on that. Okay, now, do I have any other trailers that I wanted to get into before I talk a little bit about Farpoint? Being incredibly late to the party on Farpoint. And no. Okay, I am all done with trailers. But before we get into Farpoint, let me go ahead and back up. Let me see what people are talking about in chat. John Bardo says, looks good. Tony M says, looks really interesting. Fuzzy Dragon says, I love... You know what? Fuzzy Dragon. Where the hell has Fuzzy Dragon been? I haven't seen Fuzzy Dragon in quite some time. He says, I'm assuming he, love voice acting in VR. VVR, virtual reality, still the best so far. Oh man, I forgot to make an award for the pinwheel. I should have had an award for the pinwheel in virtual reality for voiceover of the year award. Damn it. I can't believe I forgot about that. I didn't forget about it, but I ran out of time and didn't get to it. Yeah, baby, I love voice acting in VR. And I really love it in VR experiences when characters, like, they know where your eyes are. They know where your eyes are. They know where your head is turning. We need to start taking better advantage of that, of characters looking at us in VR, making eye contact with us. Hell, VR Paradise did a damn good job of this. In VR Paradise, the girls are walking around. The girls make eye contact with you, and it's a bit uncanny valley. If VR Paradise can do it, everybody else can do it, right? Yeah, I want to have more characters looking at me, more characters talking to me, and then if I look away from a character, the character should know that and should say, hey, look at me when I'm talking to you. You know, we need to do some creative things like that. So yeah, I definitely want to have a little bit more of a Sprinkletooth deserves his own cult, not an award. That is Fuzzy Dragon. Hell yeah. Okay, Tinder Claws, they need to make a sequel to Virtual Reality all about Sprinkletooth. If that's the freaking name of that little pinwheel, absolutely. They need to make an entire game surrounding that pinwheel. Absolutely. Fluke says, looks like it needs to be enjoyed with the luscious screen of an Odyssey Plus. By a mad coincidence, I have one for sale. Anyone in the UK want to buy one? There's Fluke trying to pimp out his Odyssey Plus. Apparently, it didn't work out for Fluke. Did it not fit your head, Fluke? Was it a little bit too soft? Like Steve Bishop feels like it's a bit too soft. What was the deal with that? Okay, so one of the things I did want to talk about briefly today is I wanted to talk about Farpoint for PlayStation VR, talking about being late to the party. Okay, here is the Farpoint trailer that is playing on the screen. Now, I've heard about Farpoint for the longest time. I believe Farpoint released way back on May 16th of 2017. May 16th of 2017, a long time ago. In fact, 596 days ago. And for the first 595 days of availability, I never touched it. Now, why did I never touch it? That's a good question. Well, part of the reason was I wanted to get a bundle. Part of the reason was I wanted to get myself an AIM bundle, okay? So I wanted the AIM bundle with Farpoint. And there were a number of deals at times where you could have gotten an AIM controller along with Farpoint for $59.99. But when that deal happened to be available a couple of different times it was available, I was just flat broke whenever that deal came about. And so I would look at the deal and I was like, damn, that's a great deal, but I'm just kind of broke right now. I can't really afford to buy that. So I just passed on it. And so I never ended up with Farpoint. And then we were getting close to the time of the arrival of Firewall 0 Hour. This was late August of just last year, right? Firewall 0 Hour was about to come out on PlayStation VR, and I said, you know what? I'm finally going to grab myself one of these AIM controllers. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and buy the bundle. In fact, that's the box back there. That is my Firewall 0 Hour box back there. I still have Firewall 0 Hour, the game. I almost never touch it, which is kind of sad, just because, just not my kind of game. I do love the 3D audio, though. But I did finally get one of these controllers, but I still didn't have Farpoint, and I've had a number of people tell me, bro, what are you doing? Get Farpoint. Farpoint is amazing. I can't believe you're like VR game rankings. Like, you know about all these VR games, and you haven't played Farpoint, one of the biggest VR games, period? Like, are you out of your mind? And I've always kind of said, yeah, you know, I am kind of out of my mind, right? But I was so late to the party with it that I just kind of said, okay, well, who cares? You know, this is one I just missed. It's so old now, who cares? Okay, but fast forward to it's on sale now for $9.99. And I had told Lethal Weasel, I believe I had told Lethal Weasel, you know what, bro? If it goes down to $10, I'll buy it. And this was before the sale happened. And then it went down to $10. And so I had to be a man of my word. So I had to go ahead and pick this up. So yesterday, I did go ahead and grab this game. I got into it yesterday. Yeah, it is PlayStation VR only. Unfortunately, Tony M, you cannot get this on PlayStation, on PC VR. It is PSVR only. So yesterday, I get into Farpoint. Of course, I am playing it with my AIM controller. Absolutely, you know, this is what it's meant for. And in the very, very, very beginning of Farpoint, you don't really need the controller right away. You're kind of in a spaceship and different stuff is happening. And it looks really good. Like, everything is done very well. It kind of almost seems like a non-game experience, like some kind of like Apollo 11 or some kind of like space experience in the very beginning. It kind of seems like that before you actually get to the surface of this planet and you're like in a spaceship and stuff is happening and you're looking all around. You're looking all around in the environment. You're looking at all these controls. There's like these little video screens with video popping up. The video is really clear And the controls and everything that are on your panel in your ship, all of that is really crystal clear. You look outside, it's space out there. That looks pretty good. Of course, if you look very hard at everything, you are going to notice the screen door effect at a certain point, and you're going to notice that, you know, it's all an illusion, of course, but it looks pretty damn impressive, man, right in the very beginning. And I was just looking around at everything, and I was like, wow, this looks really good. Then you actually get down onto the planet. And when you get down onto the planet, that was super awesome. Like, actually getting out, actually walking around. I'm holding my gun here. Now, the tracking of this game is a little bit janktacular at certain times. Like, you're going to be holding your gun during certain moments of this game, and it's going to be tracked absolutely perfectly. And you're looking at your gun, and you'll actually take your gun and you'll look at it up close, and you'll be like, wow, look at this. Look at all the detail on my gun, and it's moving around perfectly. It feels perfectly good. It feels like I really got a gun here. And then you'll look down your little laser sight, and it has like a little AR, augmented reality laser sight. Like when you get it lined just in the right perfect spot and you're looking through it, you get that little laser sight there. And of course you can, you know, on your aim controller, you got a thumbstick here, you got a thumbstick back here, you got all your different buttons everywhere, you got triggers all over the damn place. And you're moving through this incredible world. And it looks like Mars. I feel like I'm literally on Mars. Like, it looks really good. That volcano, you see that volcano way in the background, and the smoke is just going way up in the air, and you see a ton of smoke. And you like these scenes right there, and you look up there, and you're looking around at everything, and you're like, man, if this resolution, if we had like 8K in each eye, no screen door whatsoever, it's going to be ridiculous, man. That's why I feel like VR, the train has left the station. VR and AR is unstoppable. I am absolutely convinced. You cannot convince me otherwise. It is over. It is game over. It is simply a matter of resolution. It's a matter of field of view. It's a matter of eliminating screen door and all of that type of stuff. And I'm there. I'm on Mars, and I'm looking around, and the winds are blowing. Now, I know this isn't Mars. I'm just saying it looks a lot like Mars, right? So I'm there. The winds are blowing and whistling around, and I'm moving through the world. I haven't even seen a spider yet, like no spiders whatsoever. I'm moving through the world. It is really cool. And at a certain point, I like go over this ridge, and there's like a sunrise with like an extra planet over there, and it just looks so magnificent. And my wife and one of her friends are here, and they're in the other room, and I hear them talking, and I just got into this, and I'm like, I'm calling to my wife, and I'm calling to her friend. I'm saying, hey, you guys, come over here. Check this out. Do you want to see Mars? Do you want to step on Mars? And I put my wife into it for a quick second, and I put her friend into it, and, you know, they had the gun and everything, and I showed them how to, like, move forward and all of that type of stuff. And they were like, wow, this looks beautiful. This looks awesome. And it really does. It's kind of like a Mars experience in the very, very beginning before you get to all the spiders and stuff. Okay, so then they went away, and now I'm back into the game, and I'm just playing it myself. Oh, here's another thing, guys. I wanted to do a Let's Play because I thought, oh, look at this beautiful world. I could talk about how gorgeous and everything this is, and I wanted to do a Let's Play. And, you know, you have this little share button right here, and if you double-click the share button, usually it will start your internal PlayStation 4. It'll start it recording. This game, I tried to double-click the share button, and it made the little ding noise, and it looked like it was recording, but then it said gameplay video is not being recorded or something like that. And so maybe this is a case, like there are a number of PSVR games that you cannot record the gameplay footage, and I think this is one of them. And maybe it's because this game is using so much of the power, like it's really pushing the PlayStation 4 and PSVR to its limits, And so maybe also trying to record gameplay footage at the same time, it's just not going to work. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I could not do a gameplay video. So what I would need, and what I am planning on getting at some point in time, is I'm planning on getting one of those Elgato HD60 Pro cards where it takes like an HDMI in, and then so you go out of your PlayStation 4, you'd have to get like some type of little splitter thing. So you send one HDMI going to like the Elgato HD60 Pro, and then you have the one going to your processing box. I'm not sure exactly how all that works. Paradise Decay says, Anthony, I recorded it, no problem. Huh. I wonder what the deal was. I tried to do a Let's Play of it, and every time I tried it, it said it wouldn't let me record. Maybe I need to... Maybe I'm running out of space. Maybe I need to delete some stuff. I don't know. Okay, I thought it was just a case that this is one of the games that wouldn't record, so that's interesting. I'll have to figure that out. I might need to delete some games. Like, I have a PlayStation 4 Pro. I believe it has a 500 gig hard drive. Is it 500 gigs or is it 1 terabyte? Can't remember, but I bought a PlayStation 4 Pro the day the thing came out, and I have added so many freaking games onto this thing. I definitely need to get in there and delete a whole bunch of old games that I never ever play anymore off of it and clear up some space. So maybe that was what it is. But anyway, it said it wouldn't record my footage. But anyway, I'm going through this world. I'm on this alien planet, and then finally I get to the spiders. Now, here's the thing. I have a deal with spiders. Like, I am not a huge fan of spiders. However, I have played a ton of VR games that have spider-like creatures, or actual legitimate spiders, or things that look very similar to spiders. For example, Edge of Nowhere has spider-looking things in it. Theseus has spider-looking things in it. Rush of Blood has very realistic-looking not human spiders, but Earth-type spiders that did scare the living bejesus out of me. Trust me, I was scared S-less when I was playing Rush of Blood, that one particular level, especially because you're on like a roller coaster and there's spiders that start crawling on your actual, like in your foreground, your roller coaster, not just stuff that you see out there, but it's crawling on what you're sitting on. And it was a really clever job that Supermassive Games did as far as that. But I've seen a lot of spider-like things in a lot of different things. And as long as the spiders are not realistic looking Earth spiders, I'm pretty good. You know, they could be robot spiders like in the game Vindicta. Those are robot spiders that are crawling everywhere. You know, you got, for example, Robo Recall. Robo Recall has spider-like things that jump and scurry along, but they're robots, so it doesn't bother me that much. So the question is, did the spiders bother me in this game? Not so much, but the noises, like the little, you know, you hear them behind you and stuff. Now, that's a downside of this game. Farpoint, see, here's one of the downsides. There's a number of downsides with this, because as I continue to play this game, I'm going through this incredible, awesome world that Impulse Gear has created here. Like, this is a showstopper. This is, if you have a PlayStation VR, you've got to buy this for $10, like, period. Like, just don't even think about it. Buy this for $10 because this is demo material. This is a showstopper. So anyway, I'm going through this world here, and I kind of wish, I was thinking to myself, man, I wish this was like an Oculus Rift game or an HTC Vive game. I want to be able to turn all the way around, you know what I mean? And you turn around a little bit, you get out of your tracking cone, and it starts to fall apart. Also, you got these spiders, right? These little spiders, they're running at you, and they run by you. So if something runs by you, you don't have to worry about it. You can keep going forward because they're going to have to run back forward, because this is a front-facing experience. So if a spider runs behind you, you wait a little bit, it runs in front of you, and then you shoot it, because it's a front-facing 180-degree experience. And that's one of the downsides of PlayStation VR. It is limited to this front-facing kind of a deal. And it's going to be incredibly awesome if PlayStation VR 2 is legitimately a 360-degree experience. That is going to be really awesome, because this is a little bit like, I felt like, damn, if this was on the Vive or the Rift, it'd be let out of jail. But I still had a lot of fun with this. I didn't get super far into it. Oh, you also have these video sequences, right? Very similar to Heart of the Emberstone or a lot of other games you see, where you're exploring a world and there are these memories, these like holographic memories that you can light up every now and then. You use one of these buttons on here does a scan, and you're like scanning things, and so you scan it and it shows like a video memory that was recorded there and saved somehow. I don't know how this happens, right? But you have these two different people. You have this lady, you have Dr. Moon, and I forget what her name is, but you have a couple human characters that are there before you. You're basically looking for them, you're trying to find them, but it shows you these video sequences, and you can get really close to the sequence as it's unfolding. And you look at these human characters, they did a damn good job, man. So here's what Sony did with this game. Sony went to Impulse Gear and said, look, we want you to kill it. We're going to give you the money you need, the time you need. We want this to be a showpiece experience. And that's what they did. And this is a showpiece experience. This is muy impressive. Muy impressive. I mean, $10, man, $10. Everybody needs to own this if you have a PlayStation VR. I can't believe I'm so, like, everybody's probably like, yeah, Anthony, we know. We knew about this 500 days ago. We knew about this 595 days ago. You are so freaking late to the party. But like the dust storms and everything, the way they do the lighting, a lot of little tricks are used, and I think they do a damn good job here. I didn't even get to the giant boss. Like, I haven't been to the first boss yet. I have battled some bigger spiders, and you get like grenades and stuff that you're launching at them. Now, what are some of the other minor issues that I've had with this game? One of the biggest issues is, like I said, when you're holding this gun and when it's tracked perfectly, it is so awesome because it really dials you in, because you're looking at the gun, you got the feel of the gun, your finger is right where the triggers are, it feels really good. You got some rumble and all of that. It feels really good. And so you're looking at it, you're like, wow, I'm in this world. Okay, but then a couple of minutes later, your gun goes like this. And you're moving through the world and you're like, wait a minute, I'm holding my gun like this, but my gun looks like this. This isn't right. This is a major immersion shattering kind of a deal. Now, what I found out today, and I was doing this yesterday myself, is you shake it. You shake your controller and it gets back on track. Because what I kept doing was, typically with PlayStation VR, if you hold down your option button for a couple of seconds, it recenters you. So when my gun was going like this, I took off my headset. I'm like, okay, where's my camera? Oh, there's my camera. Okay, I'm set right in front of my camera. Okay, I'm going to hold down this option button for a couple of seconds. It's going to recenter me. My gun's going to be perfect, right? Wrong. The gun is still off track. You have to shake your gun. Which is like, what? Why am I shaking my gun? And people have to do that with Firewall 0 Hour as well. Imagine if this gun just worked perfectly all the time. Why doesn't it work perfectly all the time? Now, Oculus, HTC Vive, can you guys please make a freaking gun like this and make it available to everybody and make it a standard? And maybe like this thing, you can buy this by itself, I believe, for $59.99. It's just a bunch of plastic. It works pretty good. But you know what I would like? A higher end version of this where there's like a kick. Like it got a kick. The rumble is a little bit higher end. It has maybe more of a weight to it. It might have rumble in different sections of the gun. So like, for example, if bullets are shooting out here, maybe it has a specific rumble right here. Maybe even a little speaker that's built into the gun that like gives you a little bit of noise as the bullets, as the shells are being ejected. There's different things that can be done. I really wish Oculus and HTC had one of these types of guns. Or maybe Steam, like if Steam created their own gun. But the tracking does go wonky, and that is a little disappointing. Now, what is really cool about this game, though, one of the really cool aspects of it, is this is the only PSVR game I can think of where it shows you exactly where your freaking camera is. And not only does it show you where your camera is, but it shows you the cone of vision coming out of your camera. And I thought that was really cool. I really was wishing that I was recording the gameplay of it, because because you're like in this grid. It like goes, it goes up this way, it goes that way, and it's showing you this like range of vision that your PSVR camera has. And I always talk about the cone of vision. Like, you gotta be within your cone of vision, and it literally shows you your cone of vision in this like matrix grid, or this Tron type grid. And I was like, oh, that is really cool how it does that. And it actually shows you exactly where your camera is. And that was really cool as well. Now, Lethal Weasel VR says, you don't have to shake your gun. There is a recalibrate tracking button in the options menu. You know what? I did that. I got into options, and then I aimed it at the recalibrate, and I clicked on that. But I don't know that it had my gun dialed in the way I wanted to. But anyway, I don't know. There are some issues. Okay, one of the other major issues that I had with this game, and I was talking about this on our Discord server a little bit earlier today, I'm a snap turning guy. I like snap turning. So the way you work in this game, the way you move around is your front thumbstick, this one up here, is basically controlling your movement. You push forward, you move forward. You push back, you move back. You push this way, it's like strafing this way. You push that way, it's like strafing that way. And I'm like, okay, this is thumbstick movement. You know, it's working great. Okay, how do I do a snap turn? So I try going click, 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 you know, this way, that way, this way, that way, with the same thumbstick to snap turn. No snap turning. Okay, I tried, oh, well, maybe it's on this back thumbstick. Click, click, click. Nope, no snap turning. No smooth turning, no snap turning, nothing. There was no turning. And so I'm like, okay, how do I, like, I want to turn that, how do I turn that way? So I physically turn that way, but then eventually I'm out of my cone of vision. So I don't know what's going on, because Lethal Weasel and other people, some people have gone into the Discord server and they're like, no, there is snap turning, there is smooth turning, but it didn't work for me. They said go into the options, you can change it to snap turning, you can change it to smooth turning, or maybe it's turned off completely and I needed to go into options and set that. I did set my height as like 6 foot. I'm 6'2" technically, but I set it to 6 foot because I don't think it has inches. I think it just goes feet, feet, feet. And I set it to 6 foot. It was a great experience overall. I'm not really complaining too much. I mean, it sounds like I'm complaining a lot, but it was just minor nitpicks that were throwing me out of the immersion of the game. But man, this is a freaking showstopper, and I can't believe it's like, you know, this is a powerful summer movie blockbuster. Like, you can tell Sony decided that Farpoint was going to be badass. They're like, let's make one really badass game. Visually, audio, you know, let's give somebody a next level experience. And that's what they did with Farpoint. Where is the next Farpoint? That's my question, because this is a badass experience. So anyway, let me go ahead and go back over here to chat and see what some people might be talking about a little bit in relation to Farpoint, because I kind of was ranting for quite a bit here. Jay Pay says, when I make love to the ladies, it's always a front-facing experience. Jay, don't you remember what I told you in VR Paradise? Get behind them, Jay. Get behind them. Oh, my God. Yeah, I got to be careful here. I got to be careful. Okay, Kev Gretz says, can't wait till Anthony reviews the sequel 6 years from now. DLG27 says, I put my wife on the ledge with the spiders in Farpoint and she was blown away. Yeah, my wife and her friend, luckily it was nowhere near Spider Town. Like, we hadn't gotten to Spider Town yet, so they were just looking at the beautiful vistas of Mars, or wherever the hell we are, but it really looks like Mars. See, I was telling them, hey, you guys want to see Mars? Check this out. This is kind of like Mars. Lethal Weasel VR says, and the co-op and challenge maps are just as awesome. Yeah, I haven't even gotten there at all. I haven't tried any of that. Catherine Chanson says, tracking was an issue when I tested it in a retail store. You know, one of my problems, here's what I will admit, folks. My camera, you guys can't see where my camera is. It's over there. My camera is like down here. And I know that the camera should be up. It should be up here, angled down, like coming down this way. Like the camera should be up there, angled down at me. And my camera is like, it's not like way down there, but it's like down here. So my camera is too low. I definitely need to reposition my camera. Rendered Reality is saying at Paradise Decay, I like experiencing games with other people. In VR, it literally makes real memories. Absolutely. I have real memories of that house and Transference, to be sure. VR Gamers says at Paradise Decay, one of the best FPS games in VR. You should jump back in. Lethal Weasel says, my wife and daughter co-op in this game all the time, even still. Oh, you know, that would be super cool. So if you had 2 PlayStation VR setups and you're both online, you could actually co-op in this game and be in the like be playing it in the same place and be online. That would be really sweet. That's a great idea. Catherine Chanson says PSVR needs lighthouses. Hell yes. Well, Sony, like whatever Sony decides to do with PlayStation VR 2, it would be really, really, really nice if we had lighthouse type devices. That would really freaking help out. Now, one of the things I do wonder about, and this is a deal here, is I always thought that Facebook, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, I always thought these major companies would kind of be concerned about the entire room scale idea and would be concerned about 360-degree kind of idea, because somebody's going to get hurt, man. Somebody's going to trip on something. Somebody's going to take a header. There was a guy in Russia that was playing VR. Remember the very first VR death of all time? Some guy in Russia was playing his Gear VR or whatever, and he was walking all around his house playing Gear VR. He tripped and slammed awkwardly into a glass table, and he cut like his freaking neck, and he died. The dude died. He bled out. Maybe he went unconscious and he was bleeding like crazy. And I've always kind of thought that like Sony and all these other companies, like they're never going to give us true legitimate 360-degree room scale because it's too much of a liability issue. That's what I originally thought. And then Facebook was like, nah, brah, room scale, it's all good. Have 3 or 4 sensors, it's all good. I was kind of amazed by that. But I'm a little bit wondering about Sony because, you know, a gaming console is in your living room. And in your living room, you have you have the wires, you have your dog walking around, you have your cat walking around, grandma's over there in the rocking chair. She just got up and walked over to the kitchen because she's going to make herself a little cup of coffee. She's got a brand new Keurig that she just got for Christmas. She's going to have herself some Pete's dark French roast, and it's going to be awesome with a little bit of creamer in there. And I just always thought, you know, 360 degrees, man, that's dangerous, bruh. You know, something could happen there. But hopefully Sony and all these companies embrace room scale and they have some kind of lighthouse type system or something. Hopefully that will happen. Charles Van Nolan says, I need to get a USB 3.0 extension or 2 and get my sensors farther apart. Main Fan is replying to @VRGamers. Crow Team isn't AAA. I prefer 360-degree physical turning, high speed, good tracking, and more enemy variety. And Charles Van Nolan says, yeah, you have a point there, Anthony, with PSVR being almost invariably a living room danger zone kind of deal. And that's the same thing. That is the same thing that we got to deal with in regards to Xbox. Like Xbox is eventually going to have a VR deal. And Xbox is also a living room kind of thing. And what's his name? Phil Spencer. He talked about it. He said, we kind of see VR in the living room as a wireless kind of a thing. And then Jay Pace says, I agree with Anthony and never thought we'd see wireless VR for safety and legal issues too because of balconies. Yeah, upstairs balconies, man. Somebody is going to get seriously messed up. And this is not a joking matter. I should not be laughing about this, but there are these balconies. Like me and my wife, every once in a while, we will go take a look at some brand new homes. Like, just for the hell of it, you look at these little McMansions that they got. They're damn near like $1 million. I mean, California is redonkulous, right? I mean, the real estate market here. But every once in a while, we'll go look at one of these really nice homes. And they always have like these upstairs areas with like a beautiful upstairs living room that looks so cool. And they'll have these railings, you know, these balconies, these railings. And I'll go over to the railing and I'll grab it and I'll shake it a little bit. And it's a little bit wobbly. And I immediately think, because I have teenagers, I have kids, and they're screwing around, you know, they're wrestling around and screwing around with each other. And I'm thinking about, man, this railing, like if somebody really smashed into this railing at a high rate of speed, this thing is going to break like nobody's business, and somebody's going to go flying off, and they're going to be about 14 feet up in the air, and they're going to go flying off that railing. And I think about it from a VR standpoint as well. It is kind of dangerous, yeah. And DL G27 it says, what about the Quest? You know, wondering about the Oculus Quest. Isn't the Oculus Quest like a legal situation just waiting to happen, like a tragedy waiting to happen? And yeah, there's going to be tragedies, but you know what? There's tragedies with everything. People have died on all kinds of things. It's the Darwin Awards. It's going to happen. I didn't want to go too negative with this. I'm having a good time with Farpoint, and I had to take it negative with the Darwin Awards. But yeah, 595 days later, and I finally played Farpoint. Alrighty, folks. Well, we have gone for basically an hour here. This is what you guys do in the dog days of January. When there isn't too much news, you play a game that you haven't played in 600 days or that you've never played, and you talk about it for an hour. And that's kind of what we did here. But we did have some good trailers. We had some interesting trailers earlier today. Battle Mage VR. Everybody's going to grab that, right? You want to be in those super tight leather pants. You want to see the sunrise like that. Of course, we had Rhythm of the Universe, which looks pretty cool. We had this thing called Eclipse VR, which looks like a location-based entertainment thing that is available in Paris. And we had a couple of interesting things like that. And of course, we talked about Farpoint as well. That is going to go ahead and, yeah, conversation got dark all of a sudden. That's crunchy. Yeah, it did get a little bit dark there. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for this particular episode of VR 365. No Job. No Job. Job must have taken the day off because I did not hear any lawnmowers this entire episode. So that was awesome. But that's going to go ahead and do it for today's episode. I will be back tomorrow on Thursday at around 11 a.m. Pacific time. I will see everybody then. Remember, wait a minute. Like the video, guys. Like it, subscribe. Tell 1 million of your closest VR homies. That's all I ask. That is it. I mean, I'm not asking very much. Just tell 1 million of your VR homies. All right, that's going to do it. I am out of here. See you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. Later.